Hi, how's it going? My name is Onepeg MG, and this is the news. It's been a few days since I've done one of these, mainly because there wasn't a whole heck of a lot going on. Uh, really recently, it seems like there has been some substantial things that have changed in both the community and some things that have changed in the game that I figured would be good to at least go over. If it looks like things might be a little bit different on my end, it's for a couple of different reasons. One, I got a bigger desk, way bigger. And because of that, I actually got about 10 inches more depth, like every guy would want, right? Uh, to my desktop. So instead of me feeling like I'm sitting on top of my monitor with a webcam right here, I actually now have a little bit more distance. So things feel a little bit more natural, which is kind of nice. The other thing is, I got more cameras. So for those of you that are interested in, coming and hanging out on Twitch, I do have some additional camera angles, including one of Arnie, which I can show. Let's see, which I can show right here. And there you have him. There he is, hanging out on the couch. That's the best of the good boys right there. But anyway, I want to get onto the matter at hand. The first thing that I really wanted to discuss today has to do with the task system. Now, it's no surprise to everyone that it seems like the task system and aspects of those individual tasks are constantly getting tweaked and retweaked. Almost daily, we're seeing modifications that are made either to the chagrin or the delight of a lot of different people in the player base. And it seems like, depending on which side of the fence you're on with how you feel the task system should be adjusted, determines what kind of reaction you have to these kinds of things. Personally, when the task system was changed to something where items were supposed to be found in raid, I didn't necessarily think that was such a bad idea. If only then to have discovered that the task system itself was inherently flawed because you weren't getting credited for very hard to find items in advance. That since changed, and we saw Nikita and the dev team be receptive to that criticism. And not that I want to take credit for it, because there were very many people that said the same thing that I was saying, but they changed it and allowed us to be able to find this stuff in advance. Then even went a step further for certain other items like LEDXs or RFIDs and VFXs that are extremely hard to find, and allowed those to be obtained through other means, not necessarily just found in raid, which is really nice considering I've only found, I think, 2 wireless signal transmitters and 1 LEDX and nothing else since the beginning of the wipe. But in addition to that, there was some other criticism regarding things like the Punisher task series. This idea of having to wear certain kind of uniform stuff and use certain guns, while interesting at some level and challenging at others, doesn't necessarily end up jiving really well when you need that in order to be able to progress through the system, especially when trader rep is tied to that. And obviously, these are things that we all know. The point of this is that it seems as though the devs are, at least at some level, listening, specifically regarding Punisher tasks 2, 4, 5, and 6. Punisher task 2 now says that the 70-meter requirement is gone. Punisher task 4 is 15 PMC kills now instead of 20. Punisher 5 is 15 PMC kills now instead of 25. And Punisher 6, for the SVD kills headshot requirement, that thing is now gone. So there at least is some easing of this a little bit. The other thing that changed has to do with vendored loot. One of the things that people have been using a lot is the MDR. The MDR obviously is using a an M-lock handguard. That M-lock handguard requires a key mod in order to be able to put things like foregrips and other attachments on it. Specifically, a 4.1-inch key mod in order to be able to put the foregrip on the front. Unfortunately, it seems like that got changed or moved, and people thought that it was removed from the game and it was loot only. But it turns out that it was changed to Mechanic 2, and there's only 2,000 of them. So they're selling out. Might be a good idea to stock up at least on a few of these until whatever it is they're doing with this system gets fleshed out just a little bit more. The second thing that I have for today has to do with a rather large update community-wise. One of the largest things that we as players have been complaining about is the lack of the ability to be able to report people for suspected third-party hacking. In fact, it's probably been the number one thing outside of wanting to fix the desync and the stuttering, at least for me and members of my community, has been the anti-cheat system. Now, I will go out on a limb and say I have not seen that many cheaters. The entire time that I have been playing this game, now going on almost a year and a half, I have been able to count maybe on one hand the number of instances of blatant third-party cheating that I could see in all of my time playing the game. Now, there have been moments where I was suspecting of people cheating or doing something really suspect. But the way that this game is played, there's no real way to know. For as many times as I've turned a corner and been instantly headshot for some reason or another by someone that I could swear was using ESP, I've done the same thing to other people by just being able to hear them. But anyway, Nikita actually ended up making a post on Reddit 2 days ago, and if you haven't seen this, I'll throw it up on the screen. And he says, cheaters are being banned instantly every day. Some of them banned or in waves for cumulative effect. Cheats being downed pretty often. If you look at the cheater sites, some of them are already even closed for support of their EFT cheat. Some cheat devs are not standing still too. They update cheats pretty often and operative in every popular game with every popular anti-cheat protection. We do anti-cheat measures, they do anti-cheat measures. We constantly work against cheaters. Right now, we are preparing a major AC update. In-game report functions are planned soon. I've said it many times. Reports will not be the one and only reason of a ban. It will help the main system to act faster. If you are not happy with the current situation, although it's changing in a good way every day, please let us develop the unfinished game and let us finish everything, especially complex hacker protection, which is an adaptive development process. Come back later and be sure that it's a highest priority for us. He then goes on to say, feel free to leave comments, let us know what you think would be better for us, etc., etc., etc. Well, it turns out that when he meant soon or said soon, he meant damn near right away, because now there is actually an anti-cheater video reporting mega thread started by my friend Shiro Tenshi over on the official forums. Now, there is no way to physically respond to any of the allegations that people are making, but there is a mega thread that is growing right now on the Tarkov boards where they are allowing people to post clips of suspected third-party hackers. So, a couple of thoughts, because you know me and I'm going to have thoughts, right? The first being, I think it's a good idea that they're finally getting around to doing something like this in an official capacity. Now, for those of you that don't know, and I'm not going to name names or name communities or anything like that, but this has been done before. In another community that I have been a part of for a very long time, there was a volunteer basis, third party, that actually had the ear of the devs and was physically reviewing anti-cheat submissions or cheater submissions like this one on a volunteer basis. And from what I have gathered from people that had done this in the past, they were taking 1 to 2 hours on a volunteer basis every single day to review these things. You had a team of 6, 8, 10 people doing a couple of hours a day worth of work. I mean, you're talking 18 to 20 man hours of time spent reviewing hacker suspected submissions. And this is only for video. Screenshots don't work. Just writing things up in text doesn't work. They want video submissions only. And now they've brought it in-house. So while I think that this is a fantastic idea, at the same time, I can't help but wonder, who is it that's manning the fort on this? Are they using the emissaries to do this? Are they using forum mods? Are they using their volunteer base that technically represents or is representative of Battlestate to do these reviews? And then is there an escalation procedure where you have a volunteer or a series of volunteers that reviews this and says, this looks questionable, and then escalates it further to then be verified by the developers? Are they cross-referencing it against other forms of data? I'm just curious as to how I realize that this can help But at the same time, I'm wondering how it becomes a verifiable thing. And the second and last thought that I have regarding this is, how effective is this really going to be? The one argument against this has always been, well, most of these submissions are going to be completely bogus. And from what I have seen and heard from the people that I have talked to that did this before as part of this third-party initiative, the vast majority of the submissions were complete BS. There's no way to know in the vast majority of these situations. And in fact, like I've said, in the last year and a half of me playing this game, I haven't personally seen but a handful of people that I could say that is definitely cheating, right? If you go and look at the cheater video mega thread that they've started on the forums, right now, I just went and did a quick browse, and I swear to you, 18 out of 20, no way to tell. 18 out of 20 at least. It seems like there's no way to know whether or not they were actually hacking. I wouldn't be able to make a judgment call on the vast majority of these. And it seems like it's the same thing from the past as it is now. If I could go out on a limb, I would say 1 in 20 maybe would be verifiable. And what it looks like to me is that people are just making submissions out of being killed through frustrated measures and don't know for certain whether or not it was actually that hack or if they were just detected through other means and somebody had just really good situational and auditory awareness. Maybe it was just bad desync and they had aimed and shot you in the face faster than you had been able to react yourself. We all have seen the gavel on desync fall in and against all of our favors. I do have a bit of concern regarding the amount of manpower that would have to be devoted to something like this and the amount of bogus reports that are going to get made. And while I absolutely appreciate the initiative to be receptive to the player base, I just don't know how viable this is going to be when you have it in a court of quote-unquote public opinion, and the forum thread itself still allows for people to be able to make reactions to the videos. Even if they can't post a response, they can still click the little button that shows what kind of mood they had when they reacted to it in the first place. So still has the ability to be a little bit trolly. Anyway, I guess you guys should let me know what you think, if you would be so kind. Feel free to stop by the stream or leave a comment here and let me know. I'd be more than happy to have a conversation with any of you guys, either in the comments or in the Discord or on Twitter. I am never, ever too busy to respond to a DM from anyone. So please, please, please let me know your thoughts. Yeah, so I'll either see you on stream today or I'll see you here tomorrow or the day after. All right? Thank you.